Hallelujah. KZOOMers.
Hallelujah.
We missed you. We missed you.
2 weeks.
But
it's a long time.
it's a long time.
Yeah.
Last week, I was on retreat with some of you, and that was pure love, pure ecstasy, and really kind of shored up my belief in the practice of retreat and what's possible when you do that. It feels like we need a daily practice, but we also need this time away from our just regular routines, and something magical, something can happen during those times of retreat. So I was so happy to be able to do that with some of you, and I hope in the future we'll do more of that dive in. So there's this, I guess her name is Chloe Rain. She says that the heart of spiritual practice is internal. The heart of spiritual practice is internal and is usually invisible and unnoticed by everyone else. But by enacting the spiritual with a physical ritual or a physical practice, with a practice of enthusiasm, I'm going to say, we can both recognize and make concrete our spiritual process that is just as much a part of reality as the material world. So I think that, a lot of times what I feel like I'm doing in my practice is I'm dealing with this materialism that is our culture, the kind of way that we are conditioned to think that the material is everything, which leads to a lot of greed, I guess, a lot of accumulation, a lot of consumerism. And
unrestrained profit at the expense of everything else. That kind of stuff.
But sort of knowing that, and that the visible, that what is essential is invisible to the eye. But unless we make it kind of real for ourselves, unless we enact it, it can kind of be obscured by the cultural kind of tsunami of materialism. And so what it takes is some kind of calling forth from that internal space our enthusiasm and our willingness to leave the known and go into the unknown. I think that's the basic kind of the biggest step of spirituality is, can we leave what we know to step into what we don't know? And that's where the expansion happens. So where we are in the practice of love at the center is with this line that comes in the beginning of the Song of Songs, just the fourth line of the Song of Songs, that says, Moshchayni, Moshchayni, acharecha, narutzah. And it says, take me with you, let us run together. And so we're speaking to that divine mystery and saying, I'm going to leave everything I know and step off the cliff.
What the heck? Yeah.
Into the void.
Just do
because I know that's the only way that I can kind of receive that mystery. And it's and this idea that I'm of running for it, not just, I think speaks to this quality of enthusiasm, but the quality also of just willingness. I remember when I first was studying with my Sufi teacher, and he was very hard on me pretty much all the time, but he wanted to say something nice to me one day, and he sort of called me over and he said, I could tell that something good was going to come out of his mouth, and I thought, oh, is he going to acknowledge some kind of ability that I have, something, like I'm smart, or I'm musical, or I'm something. I was like kind of a little bit like, oh, yeah. And he said, the one quality that you have is you're willing. You're willing, your willingness. And in the moment, I was a little disappointed, like, oh shit, like, oh, you don't think
sounds kind of dull.
It's a willingness. Yeah. But I came to understand that it was like just a core
huge
quality on the spiritual path to just be willing, and it's willing to risk everything, really, because when we step into the unknown and we do it with enthusiasm, we risk being shamed, first of all. And in the Song of Songs, that's one of the main obstacles on the path of love is shame. Shame from outside, shame that we have internalized somehow. Yeah. And so we want to be able to take what is internal and call it forth so that we can know it, really. Because sometimes when, that treasure that we have inside, we can go through our lives and not really know it until we give it voice, we give it beauty, we give it image, we give, and kind of step into this, kind of experience of mutuality with it. Because when we express that enthusiasm, we will be met. Maybe we will be met. If we don't express it, we know we won't be met. But there's a possibility that when we express that, we will be met. And that is the risk that I choose to take. And now I can't remember whether it was Sarah or Pesach who were talking about exuberance shaming first. This idea that when we're young, we all have a kind of exuberance, and then it gets shut down by exuberance shaming. And I was having a memory today of that I used to love to physically run. I used to be run when I was a little kid, and I was really good at it. But I had a kind of a form that my peers laughed at. They laughed at how I ran.
Isn't that terrible? Oh my goodness. So sorry.
And then they did imitations of me running so I could see how stupid I looked,
But you were faster than them.
I was.
I know.
I was.
I think that's why.
So let's see if we can if we can do this practice by reaching inside to feel what is the the movement inside us that wants to be externalized. And the practice of chant teaches me that every repetition of the chant is an opportunity to give more, to find more, to express more, to come into my fullness through the chants. So let's try it. It's just 3 words, and we're addressing it to that great mystery that's calling us.
Moshchayni acharecha narutzah. 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 acharecha narutzah. Moshchayni 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 acharecha narutzah.
Open your mouth, really wide.
Moshchayni acharecha narutzah. 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 Moshchayni acharecha
Take a moment to feel inside you that enthusiasm, rising, kind of a natural exuberance that may have gotten shut down. You want to awaken that life force, that internal movement. Give it voice, give it energy, honor. So that a willingness was really kind of the model of that willingness in our tradition is Noah, who's we read the story of Noah this week, and I have a sign up over my computer it's a quote from Rumi that says, "Start a huge foolish project like Noah. It makes absolutely no difference what people think of you." And I look at that a number of times a day. Because I think that, one of the, obstacles to enthusiasm is kind of caring about what other people think. I like to have this, aspiration to be in the place where what other people think is none of my business, really. And I like to be able to follow that, that internal compass, that says go for it, and to do that wholeheartedly. And it's like when we're kind of half-assed in our expression, we're kind of hedging our bets, It's like we're saying something, but I didn't really mean it, But when we totally give ourselves, and and I have this kind of like a memory in my body of going to do Shabbatons in like all different synagogues around the country, and I would start off, with like the fullness of my being, just pouring it out there, and I would look at everybody sitting there. And they'd be looking at me with this look that said,
Wow.
Is she for real? Is she for real? Is she for real? And if I wasn't courageous, I would say, oh, no, just kidding. But if I was courageous, I would say, yeah, I am for real. This is real. This is it. This is it.
Here we go.
Here we go. And if I have that tenacity and courage, after a while, people begin to say,
win them over. Yeah.
maybe she is real.
All right, well, let's do it.
Maybe we could do this. And then I can call people to me. So the key has to do with wholeheartedness, and I want to do this practice of called wholehearted, and it is a way of using gratefulness to come into wholeheartedness. It's like gratefulness becomes the vehicle of coming into the whole of my expression. And it says, Odeh Yah, I will thank God, b'chol libi, with my whole heart. And I think it's part of the Shema that says the V'ahavta says, and you shall love God with your whole heart, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might, with all of you. And that's the key. That's what opens the door to the mystery, to the unknown. And through that wholeness, there's a kind of joy that is unlocked here. So I want to look at, in this session, I want to look at both that quality of enthusiasm and really pay attention to what gets in the way. To really pay attention to that, to meet it with compassion. Odeh Yah b'chol libi, Odeh Yah b'chol libi, Odeh Yah b'chol libi, Odeh Yah b'chol libi. Just want to pause for a moment and just say that as I was exploring enthusiasm, I think it has a lot to do with my posture. So pay attention to how kind of upright and open you can be in your posture.
Upright and relaxed.
Odeh Yah b'chol libi, 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 Odeh Yah b'chol libi. Once more with your whole heart. Odeh Yah b'chol libi, Odeh Yah b'chol libi, Odeh Yah b'chol libi,
Odeh Yah b'chol libi.
And in the silence, breathe into the whole heart, your whole heart. So as we explore what is it that keeps us from our enthusiasm, let's say that Aldous Huxley, of all
one of my
people,
favorite.
Rockville loves Aldous Huxley.
Yeah.
He says the secret of genius is to carry the spirit of the child into old age, which means never losing your enthusiasm.
He wrote Brave New World and Island, one of my all-time favorite books.
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
Your enthusiasm.
My enthusiasm.
Your and Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, who's also one of my favorites, says enthusiasm is the mother of effort, and without it, nothing great was ever achieved. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So, so I want to, as we look at what is the, what holds us back, really, and we want to meet that with compassion. I thought we would do this practice that I call resilience, and maybe it's resilience against all the forces that kind of seem to shut us down, and kind of dampen our enthusiasm. And it describes a kind of a walking through this world of as a kind of walking through the world of tzarah. It says im aylech bekerev tzarah. So im aylech, even though I am walking through all of this trouble, and I was talking to my sister this morning, and she just sort of saying, like, how just what listening or watching or hearing the news each day is it's like shutting her down. It's like really hard to be able to find that spark inside when you keep it keeps getting kind of dampened. And I am careful sometimes, but I'll look at the headlines and I'm careful about which articles I'm going to read, because I want to be able to still keep this spark alive in me no matter what is happening out there. So im aylech bekerev tzarah, and I know what my triggers are, so I'm careful around them. But this incredible prayer is saying that even in the very moments when we're walking through the most difficult places in the world and through our own hearts, there is this force, this life force that is pouring in all the time if we can open to it. So, and the word that describes that life force is tichayeni. And if you look at that word tichayeni, at the center of it is chai, is life. The beginning of it says te, you, at the end of it says ni, me. So it literally means you life me. Even when I'm walking through all of this tzarah, there is this life force available to me to rekindle my enthusiasm even in the midst of it all. And that's kind of the model, is that we don't, going on retreat is actually really good, but we can't be on retreat all the time. And so we still have to sort of like be able to walk through that tzarah and keep that spark alive. And we do that through the force of tichayeni. So I invite you, if you want to, take a little walk through your room that represents your world, and to feel kind of the contrast between the heaviness of that tzarah. And then when you say Moshchayni, just become kind of receptive, open, and allow the life force to pour into
Like
you.
you just step into a waterfall. It just fills you.
You could have used some of that Moshchayni today.
I know. I forgot. You should have reminded me.
So let's try this practice. And here it comes. Feeling the weight of the world. B'kerev tzarah.
kerev tzarah. Techayeni, techayeni,
Stay with Techayeni.
techayeni, 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 techayeni,
Once more.
techayeni, techayeni.
So breathing in that life force, great vitality. So one thing I like to do in my practice, is what I call spiritual photography, which is to take a picture of that state of Techayeni, what it feels like in my body, and I want to plant the awareness of it, plant an anchor in, so that when I lose it, I can come back to that through that memory. But I thought that, before we do the last practice of this KZOOM, I thought that maybe it would be good to kind of name some of those obstacles of what gets in the way of our spark, our enthusiasm, our, willingness to step into the unknown with a whole heart. It could all go under the rubric of fear, right? But fear takes different different faces, different permutations. So if you want to put into the chat what is your particular self-doubt, draggy energy. Oh, gotta go down, honey.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Oh, that's a bunch.
Yeah, go down, huh? Oh. Okay, old patterns, overwhelm, physical limitations.
Thinking.
Fear of letting go.
Lack of confidence.
Prejudgment. Lack of confidence. Mistrust. Doctors who are unmindful. Trust. That I'm not sufficiently sincere. Hopelessness. Physical limitations and wanting to look good. Taking on too much. Irritability.
Stop that. Stop taking on too much.
Lack of spaciousness, failed path, let go, other paths, full heart, rejections letters, fear of not succeeding, toxic people, we won't say who those people are, anxiety and fear. It's a good list. And so, anxiety can make one close down.
Yeah.
Lack of boundaries. Interesting. So,
good. Well, we've identified them.
stinginess. Choosing pessimism instead of optimism. That's the safer bet, right?
Let's put those on the altar.
Yeah, putting on the altar. So I want to say that there are resources sometimes that we don't even remember we have. one resource in kindling our enthusiasm is just looking around the KZOOM room, like that your face, your spark, the light that comes out of you, is a force of kindling my light. So we want to shine that and use it, because it's also it is contagious. The enthusiasm is contagious.
It is.
It
Yeah.
is, if you let it be. What does that mean, Pesach?
Wee.
So that's one kind of resource we want to, which is to go. When I was on retreat with some of you, it was like this feeling in my body of like remembering I'm not doing this alone, like we're doing this together, and that was like so healing, comforting, and also just freeing of my own enthusiasm because I'm being met in that way. So, but I also want to say that there are angelic presences.
Mm-hmm.
There are spirit guides. Mm-hmm. There is kind of like other dimensions of support available to us, and this last chant that we're going to do, which I call All Love, comes from the Kedusha, and there's a few different places in our liturgy that are different forms of the Kedusha, and the Kedusha is like central to our liturgy, and it is so kind of wild. It really is a series of sacred phrases from prophets who encountered those other dimensions and brought back the good news that we are not alone. That there are other beings who are helping us all the time, and that we can open to, and that we can sing with. And so and this is something, it's easy to forget that resource is there for us. It's easy to forget it because we can, because when we get depressed, we shut down the aperture that really opens to those other dimensions. So, our ancestors must have known about that tendency to shut that down. What is actually? Yeah, somebody can answer her. So, the idea of the liturgy saying, open up to this, 3 times a day, open up to it. There is a flow of love that are coming from those other dimensions. And the words of the Kedusha really kind of lift us up into that possibility. And I always say it is so central to the liturgy that even the Reconstructionists who maybe don't believe in all of that stuff couldn't get rid of it. It was just like so central to it. So these words are from the Kedusha, and they call in these 3 different major kind of midot, qualities of love, of clarity, and of power. And it's interesting to me how those qualities kind of are sourced from each other, how they intertwine, how that my power comes from my love and clarity, how my clarity comes from my love and power, and how my love comes from my clarity and power. Like they're all intertwined. Yeah. So I wanted to end our practice with this, but with an awareness of all of those obstacles that we put on the altar, or on the chat altar, really, that we're meeting those those difficulties, those obstacles, those resistances, that fear, with all of the resources we have.
Transmute them into energy to use for good things.
You ready to do that?
Let's do it.
Kulam, Ahuvim, Kulam, Berurim, Kulam,
Giborim, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power. Kulam, Ahuvim, Kulam, Berurim, Kulam, Giborim, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power. Kulam, Ahuvim, Kulam, Berurim, Kulam, Giborim, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power. Kulam, Ahuvim, Kulam, Berurim, Kulam, Giborim, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power. Kulam, Ahuvim, Kulam, Berurim, Kulam, Giborim, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power. Kulam, Ahuvim, Kulam, Berurim, Kulam, Giborim, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power, all love, all clarity, all power. Kulam, Ahuvim, Kulam, Berurim, Kulam, Giborim, all love, all clarity, all power.
So let's take that into our bodies. Take that outer vibration and put it into the internal space. Enthusiasm will steady the heart and strengthen the will It will give force to the thought and nerve to the hand until what was only a possibility becomes a reality. So I was